I don't know how, but there's somehow this apparently viral trend where people are claiming that if you sit like this with, hold on, kind of like this, but more like with your legs up to your chest on an airplane seat, that somehow promotes comfort when you're sitting on an airplane. Now, I don't know how accurate this is because I haven't been on a plane so often to really experience it, because planes are terrifying. You never know what could happen on a plane flight once you get on that giant death trap of a ship. That plane could go through so many dangerous terrain. It could go through clouds, it could go through birds, you could murder innocent birds with a plane, and it could get struck by lightning. The power of Zeus may not even want you to reach your vacation destination. Travelers are warned by airplane companies and organizations, and also health experts, because there is somehow this quote-unquote trend that sitting with your legs up is now popular because it promotes comfort, and it's also just, I guess, really cool to do. I don't know how true this is. I haven't spent enough time on TikTok. According to this article, it's a TikTok trend, and I don't know how true it is then, because I don't spend really any time on TikTok. I have TikTok, I upload videos to TikTok, but I only upload on there. I don't watch TikTok videos. I don't know what the latest trends are. So if this is really a trend, and we are to assume that this is real, what studies have shown this? What sort of experiences are educating the TikTok masses that this is the way that we should be sitting, not only on a plane, but in any type of seated position anywhere, in a classroom, in the business setting? Is this the way that we all assume that we should be sitting all the time, 24/7, everywhere? Because if so, I'm not sure if I'm really following up on this. They said this trend is very dangerous because it keeps the legs in a tightly compressed position, which again increases vein thrombosis and can cause embolisms, which can be deadly. So this position can actually kill you, TikTokers. This sitting like this can actually end your life on a plane. That is the worst way to go. On a plane? A plane should be the last place where your life should end. A plane is the symbol of beginning your life. It's a symbol of starting a long journey to another part of your life that you never even saw before, a part of your life that you are excited to enter. That's why everybody gets on a plane, to start a new life. Because a plane is dangerous and it's terrifying. Nobody gets on a plane willingly. They're either kidnapped and put on that plane, or they go on the plane because they have no other option and they want to start a new life somewhere far away. So this is very interesting because it raises the question of why we do the things we do as the human race. It raises the question of why are these things so popular? Why do we like doing things that we think are nice, that we think are comfortable, but are actually incredibly dangerous, if not lethal? I think that this all stems down to the human race's capacity to come up with new things that it thinks are actually innovative, but in reality are very dangerous. Like, for example, dinosaur taming. If humans were alive during the same time that the dinosaurs were alive, there is no doubt in my mind that we would have tried to tame those giant lizards. We would have tried our best to put those lizards on leashes and drive them around the prehistoric era like cars. Prehistoric cars, like Flintstones, except they actually had a car, but it was made of stone. But we would have tried to use dinosaurs, and many of us would have lost our lives because dinosaurs were not meant to be cars. I've actually sat this way before. I've sat up with my knees to my chest before in like class settings, business settings, and it feels good for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then afterwards I feel like a statue. I feel like I've lost all feeling in my legs and my feet. I think what's happening is that people will think this will increase blood flow. This may increase the movement of the body if you sit like this. I used to think this way. Sit however you want to sit, but just keep in mind the dangers and the risks of doing these types of things. I remember one time I went to a classroom and it was a chemistry class. And so I was sitting in the farthest back. I hated that class, by the way. But I was sitting in the seat in the farthest back of the class. And I was sitting next to this group of girls, and they were sitting right next to me. I went up to the chair and I decided I do not want to sit normally today. I want to sit in the completely most benign and most bizarre way possible. Not because I want to get attention, but because I don't want to sit normally. I feel like I'm just going to get arthritis if I sit normally. So I decided to sit with my back facing up and my legs facing backwards, rather than just sitting in the normal upright position. What ended up resulting was increased back pain, phenomenal back pain, and I was like, ah, internally, when outside, externally, I did not say a word because I didn't want anybody to look at me more than they already were. That group of girls earlier, they were looking at me. They were like, who is this goofball? Who's this goop troop who is sitting next to us who dares to be weird? Who dares to be unique and out of character? How dare he not conform to the demands of society? And then I just got all upset, and then I walked out of class, and then I failed that class. The moral of the story is that you don't do anything weird or out of character, because once you do, people will notice and people will judge you harshly for the rest of your life. And that's the moral to all of this. Anytime these social media trends come up, I always wonder, do people even know how they look in public? Do they know when they jog a certain way, when they walk a certain way, when they sit down a certain way? Are they really considering how people look at them? And then I think about it, and then I think, wait a second. We're the human race. We come up with weird, benign stuff all the time. And sometimes it works. Sometimes we lose our lives because we just want to keep pushing the boundaries of what we can and can't do. I think that overall, do what you want to do. Go onto a plane, do what you want to do, and just have as much free will as you're willing to have. And if somebody else judges you for it, well, hey, guess what? That person and you will go to the same place, under the ground, eating the roots off of plants and vegetables in the garden. I don't think somebody will bury you under a garden unless they want your body to keep saying fit and nutritious after you pass away. Because that's important. We always need to keep our nutrition up even when we're not even alive anymore. So, try as I might, I could not find any videos of this supposedly viral trend of people sitting like this, because again, I don't really use TikTok for that. So I was mainly going on YouTube and other video sharing sites to really find that video, and I found one, which is kind of similar, but raises its own set of questions. Now, first of all, this lady clearly has no regard for this man's health and safety, or the health and safety of everybody around them. Putting those toes out in public. Come on, hide those toes. Now, you may have the most immaculate, beautiful toes in the world, but that gives you no reason to send them out in public. That's like taking your pants off and showing your booty out in front of everybody because you think it looks like the prettiest booty on earth. And that may be true, but that gives you no right to do that in front of people who didn't even ask. That's small booty energy right there. Well, in this case, it's small toe energy, but it's the equivalent to small booty energy. Don't show your booty or your toes, or any body part for that matter, in public when nobody asked you to. This is completely disrespectful, and it's very disgusting. You could even have the cleanest toes, and I still didn't ask. By the way, always wash your toes. Don't make your toes dirty. That's disgusting. Could somebody share with me this viral trend? Could you guys share me any videos that you have seen where this is actually happening? Because I haven't seen anything. I don't scroll through social media that much, so I don't know how many videos like this are actually popping up with people who are sitting like this with their knees up to their chest. I don't know if it actually has any benefits, nor do I think that it really does when I think about it. In fact, the evidence kind of suggests that it doesn't. However, if you've done this that often and you feel like it is a great way to relieve stress or have better body temperature, whatever health benefits you say comes with this, then let me know and let the internet know. In fact, make an entire 40-minute explainer video on why this is actually the best seated position in history. And comment down below whether you guys want more of this, what you want to see more of this, and also follow on my socials down in the description below. I still don't have an outro, but that's okay because outros are for nerds. Yeah. Subscribe.